In a weekend full of Premier League drama, Arsenal fans will be left pondering at what might have been. Manchester City absolutely demolished Luton Town with a 5-1 humbling to climb back to the top of the Premier League table. Liverpool stunned by Chrystal Palace at Anfield, creating an opportunity for Arsenal to take an outright leadership of the Premier League. But the Gunners failed to take advantage of the Liverpool results, falling to a 2-0 defeat to Unai Emery's Aston Villa. Here are 5 things we learned from Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 2. Missed opportunity. Sunday afternoon will live in the memories of Arsenal fans for quite some time if the Gunners end up falling short of the Premier League title this season. We cannot avoid the fact that it was such an enormous missed opportunity in terms of the title race. Arsenal went into the weekend on top of the table on goal difference, tied with Liverpool on 71 points. If we are being totally honest, none of us expected Man City or Liverpool to drop any points. So it was always a case of we have to win our game and hope for a miracle somewhere else. The miracle arrived in the form of a Liverpool loss at home to Chrystal Palace, and then it was over to you, Arsenal. The Gunners started on the front foot, creating half chances through Havertz and Bukayo Saka respectively. But the true culprit of a missed opportunity was Leandro Trossard, missing from point-blank range. That is where I feel the game changed. For the rest of the half, it was Aston Villa who looked more likely to score, with Ollie Watkins almost profiting from a miscommunication from Gabriel and Alexander Zinchenko hitting the post from the edge of the box. This was a clear sign of things to come. The second half started with more Villa pressure threatening the Arsenal goal. Apart from a shot from Gabriel Jesus from outside the box stinging Martinez's gloves, Arsenal offered no threats. To try and counter this, Arteta rang the changes, introducing Tomiyasu and Martinelli before bringing on Emil Smith-Rowe and Jorginho later on. It was all in vain though, as Aston Villa hit Arsenal twice on the counter-attack, firstly through Leon Bailey and later through Ollie Watkins. It is a damning result to Arsenal's title ambitions. This result leaves Arsenal 2 points off the top with 6 games to go, and considering that we still have Chelsea, Man United and Tottenham in the run-in, we have made an already difficult situation even more implausible. There is, however, no time to dwell in this results much, because we have a small matter of Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena this coming Wednesday. We cannot afford to start feeling sorry for ourselves. We had a bad day at the office, learn from it and move on. Arteta's inexperience showed. Looking back at this game in hindsight, you cannot help but notice the glaring mistakes that were made by our manager. On the very top of those mistakes was starting Alexander Zinchenko over Tomiyasu. We knew that Villa's most potent weapon is Moussa Diaby, who likes to take on the fullback, but for some reason the manager felt that Alexander Zinchenko was more qualified than Tomiyasu for this game. For large parts of that game, we were exposed on the left-hand side of our defense, partly because of the defensive shape we used and also because of Zina's lapses of concentration. The build-up to the first goal was an example of this, when the Gunners' defense had pushed up towards the center line, but Zinchenko was left behind playing Leon Bailey onside. It's these little mistakes that make some of our fans nervous when Zinchenko is starting. Another error that the manager made was withdrawing Martin Odegaard when we were in desperate need of goals. The skipper is outright our most creative player, so taking him off when we need to create chances seemed a little strange to me. Unless he was injured and couldn't continue to play anymore, Odegaard should have been kept on. But the main mistake that Arteta made was changing the shape of the team. The team has been performing very well with Kai Havertz in the central striker position, so why bring him back to the midfield? Jorginho and Declan Rice have created a formidable partnership in the middle of the park, especially when we have to play at the Emirates. My question again is, why change a winning formula so close to the finish line? Making too many changes at once disrupts the fluidity of the team. Playing Zinchenko makes the team more defensively vulnerable. Most people watching Arsenal know this. Why did our manager not see this? Hopefully, with more experience in these situations, Mikel Arteta will learn from his mistake and rectify them in the future. It's not over yet. Although Sunday evening was a terrible day at the office, our season should not be defined by one game. There's still a lot to play for this season, with 6 games remaining in the Premier League and at least 1 more in the Champions League. Going into this weekend, we all believe that in order to win the league, we have to win all of our remaining games. This is still the case for the Gunners, except now we have to hope that Man City drop points in the remaining games. It is therefore absolutely ridiculous for some fans to be suggesting that the manager lose his job over just one game. Arsenal fans have a special ability to overreact. One week we are supposedly winning the double, then 3 days later we want the manager sacked. The way our fans downed tools on the 87th minute of that game was embarrassing. These players have only lost one game since the beginning of 2024. Surely they've done enough to deserve our support for 90 minutes even if the game is not going according to plan. We as fans have a role to play too. Let's not neglect our duties. We have 6 cup finals coming up and the team is going to need all the support they can get in order to get over the line and actually win a major trophy. Keep your head up, skipper. One of the shining lights in an otherwise gloomy afternoon was our captain Martin Odegaard. The skipper was once again at the center of everything good that Arsenal did in this game. He had 66 touches of the ball, maintaining an 86% pass success rate. He succeeded in 3 of the 5 attempted dribbles. All good numbers for an attacking player. But the more impressive part of his game that sometimes goes under the radar is his defensive contributions. In this game, he completed 9 ground duels and won 5 of them. He also made 3 blocks in defense. For an attacking midfielder, these are very good defensive numbers. He embodies everything that Mikel Arteta wants his players to be. Defend as a team, attack as a team. When he was made permanent club captain, most of us had doubts about his leadership qualities. Rightfully so. This was mostly because he seems like a quiet player and he had just joined the club. Names like Kieran Tierney and Gabriel were always mentioned ahead of him in terms of future club captains. But Arteta made his choice, and what a great choice it was. He has proved over the past 2 seasons that he is the right man for the job. He leads by example. He has also proved a lot of us wrong in terms of what we view as a potential captain. There are many types of leadership styles. However, one consistent issue we have with him is that we do not have ready competition for him when he needs rest or is injured. Players like Fabio Vieira and Emil Smith-Rowe have flattered to deceive in the recent past and are nowhere near consistent enough to be competing with one of our best players for a starting spot. Maybe in the coming season we might see Ethan Nwaneri being given more opportunities in the first team, just to see if he's ready for the step up. It is a problem that the recruitment team will have to attend to in the next transfer window. Who starts against Bayern Munich? After the dreadful performance on Sunday afternoon, we do not have much time to sulk and feel sorry for ourselves. The games are coming in thick and fast, with Bayern Munich on Wednesday night and Wolverhampton Wanderers at the weekend. The results of the weekend raised a lot of questions about our starting 11, and most of us were surprised by the team that Arteta put out, which leaves the question, who will start against Bayern Munich on Wednesday? Here's the team that I would start. Raya in goal, Ben White at right back, Saliba and Gabriel at centre half, Tomiyasu at left back, Thomas Partey at DM, Declan Rice at 8, Martin Odegaard in attacking midfielder, Martinelli on the left wing, Saka on the right wing, and Kai Havertz up top. I think this is the lineup we should start with in Munich because we are going to be under enormous pressure, especially at the start of the game. It's important for us to keep a compact defensive shape, especially in the beginning of this game, and see if we can hit Munich on the counter-attack with speedy players like Martinelli and Saka. If we manage to keep our composure and manage the emotions that come with such a game, we should have enough quality on the pitch to beat Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena.